Good morning everybody. This is Aqsa Fatima, Assistant Professor from ISL Engineering College. Today here I am to present a lecture on biogas generation. So this is a topic from your first unit. So moving on further, we will see what is biogas generation. So biogas is a type of combustible gas or a fuel which is being collected by degradation of organic matter in the microbial environment or anaerobic environment, that is in the absence of oxygen, in a covered environment where the oxygen is not produced, and the gases which are being produced are methane, hydrogen and carbon dioxide, which are used for combustion purpose. So biogas is very high potential energy source which is usually used in the rural communities. So this biogas technology is very booming nowadays because the resources of biomass, that is what is biomass we have seen in previous topics. So the resources of these biomass or the organic matters is high, and their efficiency is also high. So that's the reason we are going for on-field biogas plants. So we will see how it is being generated and how sustainable it is, and how are the resources being developed, and what are the different biogas plants and how the biogas is being produced. Okay. So biogas is nothing but is a combustible gas, that is a gas which is used for burning something, or which can be used in place of an LPG gas, which is collected by microbial degradation. So whenever an organic matter is there and the degradation is taking place, there the biogas is being produced. Okay. Anaerobic digestion, wherein you will have only your bacteria or any microorganisms which will degrade it. Okay. So biogas is originated from biogenic materials, and it's a type of biofuel. So that's the reason why it is referred as biofuels, is because it is the gas produced by the bacteria's fermentation of organic materials under anaerobic conditions, that is in the absence of oxygen. So it can also be produced in the variety of available organic materials and waste materials, including sewage, sludge, or animal manure, or municipal organic waste. So what are the waste that are present? Biodegradable waste such as straw, manure, sugar cane and byproducts of these from the agricultural and industrial waste can be utilized. Okay. So this utilization of these manure and all can be used in a digester, which can be used in a digester where anaerobic digestion is taking place. So what is an anaerobic digestion? We'll see. So anaerobic digestion is actually a simple technology wherein a process used where the biodegradable organic waste from the biogas production, that is animal manure, cow dung, is used for pre-treatment of substrate. Okay. So this approximately yield 92% of biogas, and the fermentation is fermentation is the process which is taking place, which includes biological and chemical waste, and the process is equally beneficial in the waste management. So during the process, large organic polymers that make up biomass are broken down into smaller molecules by chemical microorganisms, and the anaerobic digestion is completed. Okay. And this is further changed. Now these gases which are being produced are methane, hydrogen and carbon dioxide, and can be combusted or oxidized with oxygen. Okay. So biogas mainly comprises of 55 to 65% of your methane and 30 to 40% of your carbon dioxide, and the remaining impurities like H2S, that is hydrogen sulfate, hydrogen and nitrogen gases. Now moving on further, if you see, so biogas generation, that's what I said, that biogas is produced by digestion, pyrolysis or hydrogasification. Digestion is a biological process that occurs. See, anaerobic digestion is nothing but your any process which is taking place in the absence of oxygen. Aerobic is in the presence of oxygen. Anaerobic is in the absence of oxygen. So in the absence of oxygen, whenever a process is taking place, that is known as your anaerobic respiration or anaerobic digestion. So in the absence of oxygen and your presence of microorganisms or anaerobic organisms, so these biogas generation or this anaerobic digestion takes place in a container called as digester. So what happens is in this digester is your organic matter undergoes fermentation and anaerobic bacteria extracts oxygen by decomposing the biomass at low temperatures. At a very low temperature, these a temperature range of 35 to 70 degrees Celsius, and in the presence of moisture, this process takes place. So this when this process takes place, they have certain stages. So at the end of these stages, here biogas or methane is being produced. So if you see further what is happening in this biogas generation are these four processes, that is hydrolysis, acidogenesis, and your acetogenesis and nitrogenesis. Okay. So the different requirement. So these are there are different requirements of an environment present. Okay. So hydrolyzing and fermenting the microorganisms are responsible for initial attack of polymers and monomers, and these produces acetate and hydrogen and varying amount of fatty acids. Okay. So now in this you will have 4 stages of anaerobic fermentation to accomplish methane production. Okay, so for the production of methane there are 4 stages taking place. So these stages are hydrolysis, acidogenesis, acetogenesis, and methanogenesis. In hydrolysis, what is happening is your carbohydrates or the biomass normally comprises of organic polymers, proteins or fats. Okay, so if you see here, it might comprises of carbohydrates, fats or proteins, which will be broken down into smaller molecules such as amino acids, fatty acids and simple sugars. Okay, in this hydrolysis what is happening is, it is first step is anaerobic fermentation, where fermented bacteria hydrolyze the complex organic matters into soluble molecules such as the products of hydrolysis including hydrogen and acetate may be used for methogens later. Like in methogenesis, what we need can be used from this hydrolysis process. The majority of carriers or the majority of molecules can be used, and this process is further broken down, and so they may produce methane. So here, from here, what is happening, the next process is taking place, that is acetogenesis. Acetogenesis is the second step in anaerobic digestion, where the microorganism further break down the biomass or the organic products after hydrolysis. So here the fermented bacteria produce an acidic environment. So what is happening is, an acidic environment is being produced within this within this digester itself. So in this acidogenesis, what is happening is, a digestive environment in the digester itself, an acidic environment is being produced, and which will help it in creating ammonia. So that sour smell which occurs when you keep something in a jar for a long period of time. You are closing a jar and keeping it for a long time. That fermentation taking place inside, what does it produce? It produces ammonia. Okay, so this production of ammonia, hydrogen and carbon dioxide take place here. Okay, this and also it produces carbonic acids and alcohols. Okay, so these fatty acids and organic acid traces byproducts. Okay, so the principle of this is to produce acetic acid. So the byproduct of this, the principal acid which we need is acetic acid, propionic acid, and butyric acid. Okay, so from here acidogenesis in the next step. Okay, what is happening? That is acetogenesis. Aceto itself is signifying that acetic acid is being produced in this process. So in acetogenesis, acetates are created, which is the derivative of acetic acid. Okay, and carbons and the energy sources produces acetogens. Okay, so what happens in acetogenesis is, in the digester, the microorganisms which are produced catabolize these products and create acetic acid. Okay, acetic acid and carbon dioxide and hydrogen. Okay, so these acetogens which are used, that the microorganisms which are working in acetogenesis process of the digester during acetogenesis process are called acetogens. So these acetogens which are present in the digester break down the biomass into a point where methogen can use it to produce methane. So it is broken down into acetic acid, carbon dioxide and hydrogen. So now the final stage, the final stage is methogenesis, wherein your methane is being in methogenesis. What does it constitute? This constitutes the final stage of your biogas generation. In this, what happens is your digestion of methane takes place. Methogens are present here. So these methogens help in creating methane as a final product of acetogenesis, and as well as from some of these intermediate products of hydrolysis and acetogenesis they use. Okay, they use some of the products of hydrogenesis and acetogenesis, and they produced so these two equations will be taking place. Now if you see, so during the process of methogenesis, what is happening? The byproducts of hydrolysis. If you see here, what are the byproducts of hydrolysis? Fatty acids. Now further, if you see here if you see the carbon dioxide and 4 hydrogen molecules. Okay, so these carbon dioxide and hydrogen molecules are combining and becoming methane. So the main purpose of methogenesis is nothing but to generate or to produce methane. Okay, so here what is happening? Carbon dioxide and your hydrogen is producing methane and 2 molecules of water. Okay, and your acetic acid, this is nothing but your acetic acid. What is happening to your acetic acid? It is breaking down and producing methane and carbon dioxide. Okay, so these carbon dioxides can be converted into methane and water through that reactions. Okay, what we have just now seen. So this is the main different so these are the different processes which we are undergoing during the generation of biogas. So principal production of the generation of biogas. So the composition of biogas comprises of biogas which is 20% lighter than air, and the temperature would vary from 50 degrees Celsius to 750 degrees Celsius, Okay, it is odorless and colorless gas that burns in clear blue flame and similar to that of the LPG gas. Just now I have said, right, that it is similar to that of the LPG gas, and the calorific value is 1 meter cube and 22 megajoules. Okay, so what does it composition of these consist of? Methane, that is 50 to 75%, and carbon dioxide is 25 to 50%. 25 to 50%. Nitrogen comprises of 0 to 10%, and hydrogen is 0 to 1%, and hydrogen sulfide, some traces of it, and some water vapors will be present. Okay, so the main product of your biogas is your methane, which helps in burning. So moving on further, we have our site selection of biogas plant. So whenever you are considering a site for the installation of biogas plant, you have to keep in mind few things. Okay, what are those few things what you have to keep in mind? That you need to facilitate easy construction work. Okay, construction work should be easily taken place without any problem, and cost of construction should be minimized so that you can install a plant with the minimum cost. Okay, and you must ensure that the maintenance and the operation of these plants should be easily ensured, and main gas valve should be in place and composing of slurry. So the maintenance may comprises of feeding of the plant, that means you have to install the organic matter into the plant, and use of the main gas valve. How are you the main gas valve where you are using must be in an appropriate place, and slurry must be made appropriately, and you must also check if there are any leakages in these this gas plant, and proper draining of that water from the pipeline should be ensured. After the extraction of methane, whatever slurry is left with, proper drainage of that should be provided. Okay, so guarantee of plant safety must be there, and it must be slightly so the plant must be at slight elevation at a slight elevation from surroundings, so that there must be no water logging and free flow of slurry must be taking place. And what is we have? Okay, free flow of slurry must be taking place in outlet of the compositing pit. Okay, and what you have to see is that the biogas digester is placed in a place where your temperature must be varied between your 20 degrees to 35 degrees Celsius. Therefore, you must avoid a cool place or a sunny site so you must avoid a place which is cool. So you must place this biogas plant in or your digester in a place where the site is sunny. Okay, now moving on further, what are the factors which are affecting the biogas plant? We will see. So the factors affecting the biogas plant are, the factors are very important. If you have to consider, you must consider. So what are the different factors which should be kept in mind are that the potential of the gas volume produced. See, the gas will only be produced if these factors, good amount of gas we need. We are not installing a plant just to produce some amount of gas. We need good volume of gas to be produced, and that's the reason we are considering few factors. First and the foremost is temperature. So the temperature, there is no standard rule for temperature or the stability of temperature. So the temperature should be maintained carefully and regulated with narrow range. Okay, so the operating temperature should be narrow between 30 degrees to 40 degrees Celsius. So this also depends upon what type of material you are using in digestion. Okay, so if you are using some mesophilic flora digestion, so it is preferable to have a temperature range of 30 to 40 degrees Celsius. If you have thermophils, the temperature range varies between 50 to 60 degrees Celsius, and the choice of temperature is used to influence the climatic consideration. So in warm climates, digester may be if the climates are warm, the digester need not require some external heat to be involved. They will only operate to the environmental temperature. Okay, and there are some digester which are to be buried, so that they produce more amount of heat. That means the temperature increases, they produce a digester inside the ground, so they are buried inside the ground. Okay, and also you have an advantage that insulating properties of soil will be there, and you can have greenhouse covering. Okay, in this, what happens in this during this time, during the cold climates, this heating will be used, and the cost will be minimized, such as natural cost will be minimized because you are using natural leaves, sawdust, straws, etc. So the basic temperature should be maintained. See, for any digester to work, a minimum temperature range of 30 degrees Celsius. That means at least 30 degrees Celsius should be the temperature, minimum temperature. It can be more than that, but at least 30 degrees Celsius should be the temperature. Now it depends on what material you are using for digestion, or what are the different materials you are utilizing. Okay, the next thing what you have is solid concentration. Now what does solid concentration means? That how much amount of material you are putting into the your ground, that means your digester, that must be some amount of water or some amount of slurry must be formed for your degradation purpose. For anaerobic digestion to take place, you need some amount of water or some amount of liquid concentration. So for this, how are you going to concentrate it, or how much solid concentration is required? That is to be kept in mind. Retention period. Now what is retention period? For how much time it should be kept inside the inside the digester to produce gas? That is to be kept in mind. The retention period for this biomass to be kept inside the digester to produce methane or hydrogen or carbon dioxide is to be kept in mind. And now the pH value. So for pH value, low pH value is required. Low pH value will inhibit the growth of methogenic bacteria and gas generation. Okay, that is so the efficient digestion occurs around a pH value of range between 6 to 8. So when the pH is ranging between 6 to 8, alkaline state occurs and fluctuations are not too drastic. So these should be kept in mind. Now the next one is nutrient composition. In nutrient composition, what is happening is the maintenance of optimal the new nutrients must be maintained. How are you going to maintain the nutrients? The two most important nutrients what are required in a biogas plant or a digester is the composition of carbon and nitrogen. So depending upon the composition of carbon and nitrogen, your nutrients composition will be taking place. So what happens is, you must select the material or the raw material such that your C by N ratio, that is your carbon by nitrogen ratio, must be good, rich. So so if you see the domestic your domestic waste or the waste from the so your domestic sewage and animal and poultry waste will have rich amount of nitrogen. So these nitrogen level, when you have, what will happen? You will have high growth and multiplication of your anaerobic organisms. Similarly, this nitrogen is poor in your agricultural waste. Sewage waste, nitrogen is rich. Agricultural waste, it is poor. So these are rich in carbohydrate substances. So agricultural waste are rich in carbohydrate substance and production of gases. So excess of nitrogen will lead to formation of ammonia. Okay, the concentration of it will further grow, and your toxicity will be low. So it is important to maintain by weight that carbon to nitrogen ratio should be 30:1 for achieving optimal rate of digestion. So now how can you manipulate this? Is by manipulating the carbon to nitrogen ratio by adding the material with low carbon and high nitrogen. Now if you need high carbon, low nitrogen, you can go that way also. Now your toxic substance or your toxicity materials. So what are the toxics? If you see, the toxic materials are the one which cannot be digested properly. So the waste are biodegradable residues which always contain some or the other pollutants, okay, which will not inhibit anaerobic digestion, which will not be decomposed also with the anaerobic digestion. So this potential toxicity due to ammonia can be corrected by using your C by N ratio and addition of shredded baggage or straws, or by the dilution you might correct this toxic material waste. Okay, what are the common toxic materials which are available are salts of copper, zinc and nickel, and mercury and chromium. Similarly, you also have salts of sodium, potassium and calcium and magnesium which are used. Okay, so rather than going for this portion of ammonic salts, pesticides and synthesis detergent may also be troublesome. So apart from this, salts of ammonia and chromium, also the pesticides what we are using may also be like a toxic material in our digesters. Now digesters shape and size, obviously the size of the digester, the shape of the digester may also help the steering agitation of the content of the digestion. See, you have different processes which are used for your digestion purpose, which are being used for your your retention, how much for your mixing of your oil material. So different types of digester, depending on those different types of digester size, shape and steering rate, we are using our different plants, and your loading rate and feeding rate, uniform feeding. Now loading rate is how much amount of manure you are inserting, or how much amount of biomass you are using, and at what rate you are loading it. And uniform feeding. So in feeding, what happens is uniform feeding is like people usually take around 16 weeks when it is a complete so one production of biogas will take 16 weeks when it is warm temperature. So these are accelerated by continuous feeding. and the digester with small amount of waste daily. So you need to feed this digester daily in small amount. So this will also preserve the nitrogen level in the slurry for the use as a fertilizer. So they might be used further as a use of fertilizer. And the advantages of continuous feed plant are that the bacteria receive a regular supply of substrate and therefore able to generate more constant supply of biogas. Okay. So if we see what are the amounts of typical a biomass or materials which are used for dumping into the digester are and how much amount of methane they comprise, we will see that. So if you see here the methane content of specific biomass material, when you have cattle manure the methane content will be 65%, when poultry manure you will have 60%, farmyard manure you will have 55%, straw will have 59%, grass will have 70% of methane content, leaves will have 58%, kitchen waste will have 50%, algae will have 63%, and water hyacinths will have 52% of methane content. So the highest amount of methane content which is present in grass, because your carbohydrate in grass is more when compared to your cattle or poultry manure. So this poultry manure, cattle manure or farmyard manure will consist of methane nitrogen content more, and your grass straws and this will contain your carbon content more. Okay, so moving on further, what we have is we have classification of biogas plant. So the biogas plants are classified in two types. Okay, first one is continuous and batch type. The continuous one which is being fed daily, and the batch type is the one which is fed as per the process. So batch type is a now then again we have single stage process, double stage process. Then again they are also being classified as dome type and drum type, and there are different variations in drum type also. So first moving on towards continuous type. In continuous type they are single digester with raw material charged regularly. Okay, there will be one digester which is charged regularly and the process goes on without interruption except for the repair and cleaning. So there are two types in continuous type. So what happens in this is you will have a digester which will have which is being fed, and it will be fed daily or continuously without any interruption. Okay, and double stage is the one which you will have which is being fed. We will see the diagrams and we will see. Okay, see here. Now you have one which is single process digester. The other one is two stage digestion. So in any of a typical digester, if you say you will be having the basic design of a digester will comprises of a digestive chamber. Okay, a digestive chamber will be there which will be in any circular form. See, if you say the digestive chamber here is the actively digesting slurry, this is the digestive chamber. Okay, and it will consist of all the organic material being all the organic material being dumped into it. Okay, and will be water and with water it will be mixed, and anaerobic decomposition will be taking place in this chamber. It will be having an inlet pipe. Okay, one will be an inlet pipe, see, sludge inlet pipe, So this is the basic design. Okay, sludge inlet pipe will be there, sludge outlet pipe will be there. Okay, and mixing tank will be there. Mixing tank, if you see this is single stage, so there is no mixing tank in this. Here it is a double stage, so there is a mixing tank in this. Okay, then we have removal tank. So if the digested sludge is here, this is the removal tank. Okay, gas accumulator, the gas storage accumulator, the gas will go up obviously. The gas storage or the gas accumulator will be there, which will have gas collected in an accumulator that may be used for the purpose. What is our purpose? For the purpose of your burning it, whatever, gas collection and distribution, whatever. After this, the gas will be removed and collected and distributed further. Okay. So in single stage process, the conversion is carried out in a single chamber or digester without a barrier or without a construction wherein a construction is in such a way that there are no two separate digesters. There is only one single digester where the scum layer is there, supernatant layer is there, active digestive slurry is there, digestive sludge is being passed out. So what happens in this is your sludge inlet will allow the sludge, that the sludge is being mixed with the slurry, and an active digesting slurry is being dumped into a digester. So active digestive slurry is being dumped into a digester where you have your process taking place. Okay, your process will be taking place in the active digesting slurry. Your gas will be stored, and the construction of it might take a duration of 16 weeks, and this continuous batch will be being dumped. So the sludge will be dumped continuously mixed with water, will be dumped into this active digesting slurry or the digester, wherein the gas production will be taking continuously, and the gas will be stored in the gas storage, which can be used for the purpose of burning or utilizing whatever purpose you may need. In the digested slurry which will be there, it will be going into the digested sludge, where the sludge will be taken as an output and from the outlet and used as a fertilizer or whatever purpose you want to use it, you can use it. Now in two-stage digestion, what is happening is there are two chambers being used. One is your first chamber where acid formation takes place. So in this chamber, your sludge is dumped. Your sludge is being dumped in this chamber using the mixer, and also sludge heater will be used, which will heat the sludge, and mixer will rotate and mix the sludge completely, and acid formation is taking place. Then this dilute acid is fed to the second chamber. Okay, in this second chamber, the formation of methane or methane is being produced. Production of methane is taking place. So in this second chamber, what is happening is your collected methane will be having different stages. So in this supernatant layer, your methane is being produced by anaerobic respiration. Methanogenesis takes place in this layer, and your solid concentration will be in such a way that the gases are being stored into the storage region. There above, if you see, there is a gas storage area here. In this, your gas will be stored, and it can be used for the purpose of your it can be used by coming out from the digestive gas outlet, and the digested sludge from this is going out. Okay, now the next is your batch type. In batch type, what is happening is your first one was continuous type. In that you had to, that is your what to say, your first stage and single stage. Now in batch type you have plants which will be feeding at an interval that the plant is emptied, which will be feeding between intervals, and plant is emptied in the process of digestion. Once the process of digestion is complete, in this process the digester is also charged with the urea and allowed to produce gas for 40 to 50 days. The freshly charged digester is aerated for a few days, and after which it is closed to an atmospheric pressure of biogas supply. Now we will see what are the different batch type biogas plants which are available. Okay, now in this batch type you have numerous models, but mainly two of them are very commonly used. One is the floating type and the other one is fixed drum type. Okay, floating type comprises of, so first if we see what are the floating drum plants. Floating drum plants consist of digester and moving gas holder. So the gas holder floats either direct on the fermentation slurry or in a water jacket of its own. When the gas collects in the gas drum, it rises, and if gas is blown off, it falls again. Okay, what is happening now? Floating drum plant. In a floating drum plant, there will be a digestive chamber in which the digestion will be taking place and the production of gas will be taking place, and they will be having a moving gas holder. So this gas holder or gas storage will float either on the direct fermentation slurry or water jacket. Okay, once the gas is collected, the gas drum goes up. With the gas drum will float up and go up. And now when the gas is utilized, it will again come down. So the gas drum is prevented from tilting by a guide frame. You see here. Now what is happening is, in floating drum type. So this is the main diagram of floating drum type holder. So in this what is happening is, floating drum type, the underground gases, the slurry or the cattle dung, whatever you have, you will dump it, you will mix it with the water. Here it will be a mixing tank over the ground level. Okay, once you have mixed it, you will dump it into the digester. So this is the digester which is constructed underground. Okay, now this will be your inlet pipe which will dump the slurry or the material which is being biomass which is being utilized for the production of biogas, and it will get mixed into this digester, an underground digester tank. This is an underground digester tank. So what is happening in this digester is your anaerobic digestion taking place. So once your biogas is being collected, so this will help the biogas being collected here. Okay, so this will be a floating gas holder. Once the biogas is full, it will rise up and it will let the biogas to be utilized in the gas valve, and the slurry which is once utilized will be sent out to the overflow tank. Okay, slurry which is being utilized is sent from here to the output. This is for okay, and your spent slurry is again can be utilized as a fertilizer for crops or something. Now once your biogas is being utilized, this floating drum will again come down. Okay, the main disadvantages of this floating drum type is that the maintenance is high for this, and if the drum steel drums, that is this is a steel drum, so what is happening, the rust may occur on that biogas chamber. So we need rust removing and painting at a regular interval of time, so the life of this plant may not more. Now moving on further, we have fixed dome plant. Fixed dome plant, if you see, they have fixed, everything is fixed. There is no movable type of collector or movable type of gas chamber or gas storage chamber. So it will be enclosed in a digester itself, and no movable gas space will be there. The gas is stored in the upper part of the digester, and the gas production commences. The slurry is displaced into the compensating tank. The gas pressure is increased with the volume of gas stored. Therefore, the volume of the digester should not exceed 20 meter cube. If there is little gas in the holder, the gas pressure is low. Now see here, what is it saying? That again the same model is there, but there is no separate movable chamber for your gas. It is a fixed dome type. So your slurry will be mixed in the mixer. It will be dumped into the chamber, the upper part. So the area of your chamber digester will be 20 meter cube, and it will not hold more than 20 meter cube. Okay, so once if the production of gas takes place and the pressure of the gas is high, the pressure of the gas will be high. The production is taking place, and once the less production is there, the pressure will be low. Okay. Now there are a few commonly used biogas plants which are being studied. Is Janta biogas plant, which is fixed dome plant built with bricks and cement as an immovable. There is no moving part, hence very less wear and tear and less maintenance, and no corrosion takes place. See, this is similar to this fixed dome type. So it is a fixed dome type which is also known as Janta biogas plant, wherein you have fixed slurry mixing tank where you will mix the slurry and it will be dumped into the digester. From the digester it will go to the within the digester the anaerobic digestion takes place, and once the digested slurry is digested, it will go out from the outlet tank to the overflow tank where it can be used as a plant slurry, and it can be used as a fertilizer. And this have a gas holder which will store the gas, which is used for your purpose, like cooking, or you might also use it for combustion purpose, whatever you need. And this is the for Janta biogas plant. Now you have Deenbandhu biogas plant. This design was introduced by Action for Food Production, a national non-government voluntary organization. Okay, so it is a fixed dome type, but similar. It is a fixed dome type similar to that of the Janta biogas plant, but it is in a spherical shape. See, the digester there was different. The outlet chamber was different. The construction was different. The construction for this digestive chamber is different. Okay, if you see here, it is also known as it is also like a balloon plant. If you see, it is seeming like a balloon. So these are also called as balloon plants. And here again you have a mixing chamber in which you will dump the slurry and water, and it will be dumped into the digester. In digester, what will happen is, in the absence of oxygen, your anaerobic digestion takes place, and above this we will have a chamber for gas holding, and this will be used as a gas outlet, and you will have a gas valve, and this is used. The used digester or the digested slurry is being passed down to the outlet chamber, from where the slurry will go out from the outlet. Okay, so what are the different biogas plants we have seen? Fixed dome type, if you see here, we have seen the continuous type and the batch type. In for continuous type you have single stage and double stage. In batch type you will have in continuous type they will be fed at continuous intervals, and in batch type what you will do is you will feed it with once it is being utilized it will be emptied and again it will be fed again. Now the other type is the dome type, the drum type, fixed dome type and drum type, fixed dome and floating dome. So in fixed dome what you had, floating drum plant what you had, the gas floater was being floating. Once the gas was filled it will go up, once the gas is empty it will come down. That's the output for this. Then the fixed dome plant, in fixed dome plant what will happen, the pressure of the gas, once the pressure of the gas increases, upper part of the digester, and the pressure of the gas increases with the volume of the gas stored, and it should not exceed 20 meter cube, and when you have little gas in the holder the pressure will decrease. Fixed dome types are classified as two. There are two plants which are constructed based on the principle of fixed dome type, that is Janta biogas plant and Janta biogas plant, wherein you will have similar construction as that of the fixed dome type, and the Deenbandhu biogas plant which was constructed by food production, by action of food for the food production, national non-governmental voluntary food production, and in this you have a fixed dome type similar, most valuable, low cost, and it is in spherical shape, that is Deenbandhu biogas plant. Now moving on further, we will see the advantages and disadvantages of biogas plant. There are many advantages and disadvantages of biogas plant if we see. So the cost of the equipment is first and the foremost. Okay, it must be cost effective. So it should cost of the equipments making biogas less and equipments used are very simple. Okay, cost. So you can tell that the biogas plants are cost effective and can be built and repaired with locally available materials and low operating cost. Then further if you see what is that, the next one is that they can be used for lighting, running of the engines, farm machines, cooking gases in kitchen. So the technology of these biogas plants are cheaper and simpler, and it is ideal for small scale industries. Okay. Now if you see, organic feedstock used in the plants can be easily available at places. Biogas plants give efficiency as much as 60%. Waste products obtained from the digester is also best quality. Fertilizers and best yields create employment locally. So if we see, the pollution also is limiting. There is limiting range of methane and greenhouse gases directly into the atmosphere. So there is no chance of the release of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere directly. So this also reduces the pollution, and more land is not required because it is usually constructed underground. So there is no use of land, and it can be utilized by all the organic material what you are using. It is from animals, human, solid organic waste treated, and everything can be dumped into one digester. So it is combined treatment taking place. Okay, waste management. So household waste can also be dumped and used in a healthy manner, and also bio wastes are being reduced, and this slurry which we are getting from the output is also a good source of your fertilizer. The waste products which we are obtaining are good sources of fertilizer, and the main advantage of this is that it is preventing deforestation, because for cooking purpose what people used to do, they used to cut trees, they used to deforest fuel as a wood as a fuel they used to use. So self-sufficiency in energy for rural community. So the rural community can use this biogas rather than using wood from forests, and this is reducing deforestation, and it is preventing from deforestation. So next is your disadvantages. So what are the disadvantages of this that biogas produces? So it can't, these biogases which are being produced can't be used for long distances. So what happens, this is used wherever it is produced, it can be used there only. It can't be filled in bottles, cylinders. See, continuous production takes place, continuous utilization takes place. There is no chance of filling it into the bottles and transporting it. So the main disadvantages of this becomes this. But this is only the main disadvantages of this, that at large industrial scale not very attractive economically. So they are not good for large industries. They can only be used in rural areas or on small scale. High amount of organic matter should be see, one more disadvantage is that we need high amount of organic matter for biogas production. Okay, and once the digestion is taken place, you need the outlet or dumping of that incomplete pathogen removals. The digestion might require further treatment. Okay, and also requires seeding. It is established in urban areas where the availability of the land is limited. It can be established in urban areas. Again, the main purpose or the main reason for establishing it is you need more and more organic matter, which comprises of good carbon to nitrogen ratio, and it can be placed in areas where you are utilizing it for the purpose of wherever it is being produced, it should be utilized there itself. It can't be transported for long distances. Okay, so this is the end of your biogas generation and the different types of biogas plants being used. So now this biogas generation produces methane. So from this we can say that anaerobic digestion technology is used for the production of biogas plants, and it is even simple, and it also finds its advantages in domestic and farming applications, and it can't be used for a high-end industrial purposes where you have large amount of generation taking place. It can be only utilized for small scale industries or on a scale where you have rural areas, and it can substantially contribute to sustainable energy. Okay, particularly in the areas where you have agricultural or municipal waste in more quantity. So you can't install these plants in urban areas where you don't have the agricultural waste, you don't have the municipal organic waste prevent. So apart from this, they are also a good form of energy sources, and utilization of biomass and agricultural waste may take place. Okay. So what we can say is from this that the review of fundamental biogas technology would be utilized in urban will be utilized in rural areas, and also good for farmers or people who have low employment rate, they can install these biogas plants and can utilize. And the production of biogas is reducing the purpose of your or you can say that production of biogas is reducing the use of fuels by cutting woods and fuels which are being utilized by creating pollutions. So the pollution is being reduced with the help of this, and your pollution is being reduced, and also it is reducing to deforestation. It is reducing deforestation and preventing deforestation, and it is also managing all the waste products of our byproducts which we are getting as a waste from this. Okay, so this was the part of your 5th unit, biogas generation or biogas production. So this is it for now. So do comment your roll numbers in the comment section, and post for any doubts in the comment section if you have. Thank you.